Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we're looking at something rather simple but rather nice. We're looking at this. This is called the SoundCore 2 and it's fairly simple. It's about the size, near enough about the size of a mobile phone. It's a little bit hefty, weighs a bit, and I'll give you the specs in a little bit. Now, interestingly, it's waterproof, but in here, and this is quite a useful little feature, there is the ability to plug in the USB charger and line input. Close that up, and other than that, it's waterproof, splash proof. I wouldn't take it in a swimming pool, but you know, it's not a bad little piece of kit from that point of view. About the size of a hand. There you go. And interesting feature on it. This is something that you don't get very often. Well, I've been looking around, you don't necessarily get it. You get proper sound on here. They call it some special name, which we'll deal with when we're looking at the specs. But it's got a passive bass on the back, and the tweeters, drivers, whatever you want to call them, are on the front. So you get a much bigger bass sound from this than you would expect to get from something of this size. And it's in stereo, and it's got a good wattage on it. We'll have a look at the specs and we'll tell you exactly what's what. But anyway, that's what we're looking at. Right, so this is the device. It's a Anker 2 portable Bluetooth speaker with 12-watt stereo sound, bass up, IPX7, waterproof, 24-hour play time, wireless stereo pairing, speaker for home, outdoors and travel. Sounds pretty good, and let's have a look at a picture of it. There we go. That's a rather nice picture, and you can see quite clearly on there all the buttons. We can do a sound test in a little bit and you can actually hear what we're talking about here, but the intense bass is there, and the immersive sound, it's quite an interesting way to describe it. That's probably about the best way of describing it. As for the waterproof, I'm not sure I'd go this far, which would appear to mean that if you've got the little bung in the end, you can drop it into water and it will still survive, which when we look at that 24-hour playtime and people throwing them around, so they are suggesting that they're robust. Looking back at this, you can see it's a sort of an internal picture, and yes, it looks like it's put together properly. So there, in the middle, is your bass driver, sort of subwoofer, and then you got your two mid-range. We're talking about something that is only, it's only 1.5 inches across, or something silly like that. I don't know what the actual specs are, but I've just measured it with a thumb. So let's have a look at the specs. And it says here, outdoor incredible sound. It's got, now this is where it gets quite good. It's got 12 watts of pure audio power. That's 12 watts music power equals 8 watts RMS. And it says that it's got Bluetooth speakers, intense bass, blah 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 blah, 24-hour non-stop music. So it's got a 5,200 milliamp hour battery, and to deliver a full day of sublime sound. Now, if we look, there's a newer model, but this model is only $29.99, and it comes in these nice, pretty colours. And I must admit, the black one looks very, very okay, but I like the blue one. I haven't got a blue one, but I like the blue one. Anyway, listen. Now, we can play the video. This is supported by an app, this particular speaker. So if you want to, if you get two, you can, this is what it's showing you here, you can actually connect the two together to produce a stereo pair, i.e. two monos playing in stereo together, rather than having to put it as two lots of stereo ones. So it's rather useful. And there's various other features on the app which you can use. But it's all sort of relatively simple. If you're into apps, you'll know what you're doing. Happy listening. So just have a look, see if there's anything else on here. You scroll down there. People often buy two of them together. It's not such a bad idea. Right, and Then we've got SoundCore 2 enhanced bass, outdoors, intense bass, waterproof, which it shows being given a bubble bath, 24-hour wireless stereo pairing, Bluetooth 4.2, and it's as good as anything. The actual having of the line input is relatively unusual, and on a device of this size, and it's quite good. Let's have a look. Anything else on there that's of any interest? It's got good ratings, 4.7 out of 5. So this is some data I got from another site on the web, and you've got Bluetooth speaker, 20 meter range, 4 watts times 2, that's equivalent to 8 watts RMS, which would be about right. Input 5 volts, 2 amps, 20 to 20 kilohertz, 4 ohms, 24 hour, 414 grams, IPX7, USB chargeable, Anker, 5,200 milliamp lithium-ion battery, and then the dimensions. So we've got 6.6 inches, which is 167.6 millimeters, 1.9 inches, which is 48.3 millimeters, and 55.9 millimeters, which equals 2.2 inches. Anyway, that's that. So that's the device, and now what we're going to do is actually hear it, and I'll show you how I did that. But before we do the proper listening test, I'd like you to just see this. This was a Christmas concert which was conducted in the open air using one of these speakers.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
That's the Gobstoppers Glee Club doing their thing, raising money for charities from Berkhamsted in Hearts, and credits at the end and in the description. All the music played on that was from the SoundCore 2, for the simple reason that they didn't supply any power. We turned up with a big amplifier, and then we had to use that. But as you could hear, it did the job. Now for some music to be played back, and this is pointing the microphone that I'm using at the speaker, and you might hear the odd thing about where I'm pointing it, but I'll tell you if it's important. And now I'm going to enclose it. Change of pace now with a more easy listening sound. Now we can get down and dirty. Where We Want to Go by Patrick Patricos. So that's the sound test all over, and as you can hear, it's got a good bass. It sounds a lot nicer in person than on my microphone, because it's only a voice mic, but I think you can hear it's got a well-balanced sound, and I like it. We went straight out and bought another one after we got that one, so yeah, well worth having. And, you know, if it will get you out of a hole if you find you haven't got any power somewhere. 24 hours running is pretty good. My daughter was saying she's only charged her twice in the time she's had it, because she doesn't run it very long, but when she does, she wants to use it. If you're interested in getting one of these speakers, or several of them, there are links in the description to Amazon for the various countries, and if you click on there, it will put you straight through, and it'll help support the channel. And don't forget, when you're hearing this, you're not hearing the speaker, you're hearing your speakers, but hopefully you can tell the differences. Anyway, thanks a lot. I'll play you out with a bit of Patrick Patricos, and see you next time.